Hi, so somebody asked me how this particular composition is created and how it works. So I will review this, and that will let me allow to show some techniques to debug a composition or to understand how it works. So, well, first, if there's a description, you can always read it. Then you have the parameter editor with different things that it does in the composition, and what you can do is use this little arrow here and see what target each one of these expose parameter activate. And so you can do here right click on the target, go to activation, and you see that it's currently triggering the activation of the mandala and the activation of the kaleidoscope for this one. And then if you go, for instance, in tree rotation, then you can go to tree rotation and see that it's triggering this rotation parameter. So that can help debug a composition. Then what is always useful to do to see what's happening, it's to do deactivate and activate some element with the space bar, so to see what's what. So let's unfold this one and see what's happening. So you see that there's some kind of layer one on top of the other, and you see that here, let's deactivate the helper, I have some kind of complex composition here, but if I go in 3D mode, I have actually only one cube. So let's see how this thing is done. So I have only one cube. Here it's quite trivial. If I unfold my layer, I see here I have a box, and if I deactivate it and go back into the mode, I see that my box is the origin of, well, everything. And if you want to search for it, you can always type here box and see here I have two boxes, box of box and this one. So I have two boxes in my scenery. So let's see only this level 3 composition with the visualizer, and here I see that I have my only box, my box alone. And if I click here on the parametrics, these are different renderer of my composition, this composition you see here. And if I deactivate them, you see nothing happening, because here these are the renderer of the composition I'm currently visualizing. So I need to go on the parent composition, this one, to see what this parametric does. So if I deactivate them, I see that I have a first composition, level 3, that is inside my second composition, level 2, with 3 renderer. And then if I go to level 1, I go to level 2, and I see that level 2 composition has also 3 different renderer. So this is my composition with the 3 boxes repeated, which is repeated 3 times. And now if I go to my main composition, I see that my level 1 composition has also 3 repetition, one on the front, one on the back left, and one of the back right, and one of the front. So that's basically how it's done. Let's go back on level 3, so the main composition. And here I have my box with an array of boxes, and I have some renderer with 2 surface renderer, one with a diffuse component and two with diffuse component, one which is only black, this one, the first one, and one that is only white, the first one, but with a normal mask, so a full white and a full black. But this was a normal mask, which means that if I'm doing a rotation around my box, normal map is referential is 1 for my normal mask. So for instance, if I put my referential of the normal mask into the camera, so here if I move around my box, you see that I go from one shader to the other, so from my black to my white. I mean, it's just my white that is above my black, and it's masked accordingly to the orientation of my geometry regarding the camera. So now if I go back to my main composition, and let's put us like this, for instance. Okay, let's add another renderer to my box. Control Alt. Doesn't exist anymore. Shit. Okay. Well, let's put this box with an orientation like this, for instance. Okay. And let's go back on my main composition, and now you see what's happening. So basically it's just how it's done. So I hope this short tutorial helped you, and good night.